So I give a minute to let somebody log on. Hey, Harold, what's going on, brother? I am interstatal. Here we go, folks. Welcome to Angie's Angles. It is the May the 1st in the year of my Lord, 2025. And we're looking at Met Baseball 2025. Dialing up live from Smoke Therapy 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Tonight, I am so honored, blessed, whatever adjective you want to throw in there, to have my good friend, Pete O'Shea, a blast from the past. Let me give you a little backup on Pete. Pete O'Shea is a comedian, sports journalist, and lifelong Met fan like myself, who grew up in Oceanside and played basketball with yours truly. Pete was a better player. He's also the author of a book called Pain Was My Friend. Welcome, Pete, to Angie's Angles.
Thanks, buddy. I love every part of that introduction except the one part. There's no way I was a better player than you were.
No, come on, bro. You were a left-handed shooter. You were way better.
But you had the hops, baby. You could get up there, man.
I had the jumps for sure.
You had the hops, baby. No doubt about it. You chipped a couple of tooth on the rim a couple of times.
Hey, Nick Triano, representing Delphi University. What's up, Nick?
What's up,
Finally,
Nick?
a Soto home run. You got to say that ×2, Nick. But Stanley, it wasn't enough because we only got 3 other hits. Eric Schuster, Lonnie Woolman, Wahoo! What's up, gents? How we doing tonight? It's gonna be a lively night. So, hey, Tom, dialing it up from Smoke Therapy Lounge. How are you, brother? So I asked my friend Pete. Pete and I re-met via Facebook, and that's about the only. Hey, Mike, what's going on? Mike Weena, owner operator of Smoke Therapy. So I was an anti-Facebook guy. As a matter of fact, the only reason I got onto Facebook is Danny's coach used it as a portal to announce practice, games, fundraisers, this, that. So I was forced to join it. And believe it or not, when I joined, I had an anonymous name. Now, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. The reason I did that is I have a lot of friends who happen to be females. And they're friends. Like, I'm out there. I'm well known in many circles. But I had a lot of friends that were females. And I didn't want them hit me up because while it's okay for Babs to have some male friends, it kind of caused a little conflict if I had female friends.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I had an anonymous name. I don't know, Pete Jones or something. I don't even know what my name was. So I would always comment in the baseball page. Oh yeah, blah blah blah. And one day Barbara said to me, "Who is this Pete guy? I don't know this." I go, "You're sitting next to him. It's me. Why do you have an anonymous name? Why do you hide him? Blah blah blah." It was very funny. So I explained the whole situation. Then I came out of the closet. I created my Angelo profile, and here I am ever since. But I did that, believe it or not, I reconnected with a cousin that lives in Texas, old high school friends, Pete being one of them. So Facebook's been very good to me. It's also very good. It's helped my podcast. I'm averaging about 1,500 views post podcast, right? We got 11 guys signed up right now live, which is great because it's Thursday night, 8:30. I appreciate the dedication of everybody taking time out of their busy lives to give this lunatic a half an hour on Thursdays. I don't know, Pete, if you remember, but I just celebrated 4 years on Angie's Angles. I missed 3 podcasts.
Wow.
3 in 4 years. I've been doing podcasts from the gates of Graceland, from hotel rooms in Alabama, in Atlantic City, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On the road with Danny when we're traveling for travel baseball, the whole 9 yards. John Belvedere, what is going on, my friend? How are you? Yeah, Mike, I said owner operator of Smoke Therapy, 215 Ron Copper Avenue. So let's get right into it. Pete, why don't you just give us a little blurb? Tell us a little bit about you that I didn't cover.
Well, first, let me tell you that when we first come back on the Facebook, I found the show first before I found you.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'm watching the show and I'm saying to myself, holy cow, I know this guy. Wait a second. I know this guy. And then all of a sudden you turned your face just the right way. And it was just the way you used to turn before I threw you the alley-oop back in the day. And I looked at the face. I'm like, it's Angelo. It's him. Okay. So, I mean, dude, we go way back. I was the waiter at the Last Supper. That's how far back I go. Okay. And it wasn't a whale that swallowed Jonah. It was me. You know what I'm saying? But we were together a long time ago in Oceanside. I've bounced around ever since then, but I'm doing stand-up 37 years now. And
That's
still doing
crazy.
it, man. Still doing it. I just did a show last week in Topeka, Kansas. And then it was a fundraiser for Youth for Christ, which helps prisons, kids in prison. Next day, they let me go talk in both prisons, man. Maximum security prison, 17-year-old kids. And I brought the book in and I told the story and I left the book. And then I just got a letter from them saying they're all reading the book and they're loving it and they're getting hope again and they're getting inspired. So that's pretty much what I try to do, brother. I try to be a hope dealer, man. You know, and it's great
Well,
when you hear that. Yeah.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Couple shout outs. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. Eric Floyd, what's going on, pal?
What's up, fellas?
Let's get right into it, Pete.
Okay.
Let's get into the Mets and the last two games. And we were talking offline before we went live. The Mets have to make a decision on Edwin Diaz, right?
Yeah.
Because he's messing up the bullpen. If he's legit hurt, throw him on the DL. And Pete, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'll never call it the IL. It's going to be the DL. I don't care. Disabled list. I don't care if it's politically incorrect. I don't give a crap. For 432 years, it's been the DL.
That's right.
You know what I mean.
I call it the DL too. But I agree
Harold, that's funny.
Diaz is hurting the team right now, or not putting him on the DL because you're asking everybody to step out of their role into another role. It doesn't work. You don't have enough there to do that, and you could have won both of these games the last 2 days if Diaz comes in and closes.
Absolutely, if he was available, the whole dynamic changes. Now we got Minter on the DL for long term, sadly, because I really thought this guy as a left-hander was going to be our saving grace, but now we lose him. Okay, now we have to pivot. Now it's up to Stearns and Cohen to go find two guys. I think we need two. We need a righty who throws heat, and we need a lefty off-speed pitch guy to throw out there in the bullpen.
They should have addressed these issues in the offseason. You went into the year with Minter as the only reliable lefty and no real eighth inning guy from the right side. Here's who I want you to go look at. The Tampa Bay Rays. They do not appear like they're going to contend. They don't make any money. They're playing in that little bandbox of a stadium. So Pete Fairbanks and Colin Pope could both be available, and that's your lefty and your righty right there that fit your description perfectly.
Well, those are good points, and let's talk about that. You just touched on. So we got Major League Baseball. We got Rob Manfred, who I can't stand. And Pete, I know you're a religious man, but God forbid anything ever happened to Rob Manfred. I'm going to knock at my door because I'm number one prime suspect of taking out Rob Manfred because he's ruined baseball, in my humble opinion.
I agree with you.
I mean, you can't get away from the guy. And I think he's retiring in 2026. I'm throwing my hat in the ring. Vote for me for commissioner of baseball, and we're going to be just fine. I'll get rid of all these rules, the silly softball rules. I mean, I can't wait for the safety base to come. I mean, Jesus Christmas, and not to use God's name in vain, Pete, but holy smokes.
It's out of control now. The runner at second base, the time, the clock. We like
two
you said,
disengagements.
Are you going to start having people run for the fat guys? Is that what's going to happen soon?
Right. Courtesy runner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's sick. I mean, I've talked about this on Angie's Angles, Pete. You'll never, in our lifetime, as long as Manfred and the powers that be keep these rules in place, we will never experience a Kirk Gibson, Dennis Eckersley at bat ever again.
Well, you're absolutely right. And it's what really is it comes down to is Manfred lets the inmates run the asylum. Okay. You have a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate that owns the Dodgers. Okay. 20, 30 different billionaires together. And they are circumventing the rules like crazy. And Manfred is not only not stopping them, he's showing them how to do it, and he's encouraging them to do it. Okay. And you're seeing the same thing left and right all over the place. He has his favorite teams, and he looks the other way when those guys do stuff.
And counterpoint to that comment, Pete, they tried like Dickens to keep Cohen out of being an owner because of the deep pockets that he had. So you're right. On the West Coast, you got the Dodgers circumventing all the rules and all the normalcies, and yet Cohen was given a hard time to become owner of the New York Mets. Well, as a matter of fact, he was denied the first time.
The only way they agreed to let Cohen come in was that the Mets were going to take Stearns also to be the voice of reason with him. But that costs the Mets every time. We talked about this earlier. So he wants Lindor, he wants Soto. So then Stearns pivots, and we get stuck with Montos and all these other stupid signings that are based on analytics where you're trying to save money because Cohen spends so wildly. How can you have a tax apron line named after you and you still got outspent? How could that be possible, Angelo? The Cohen line is there and Dodgers outspent you. How is that possible?
And while we're on the Dodgers, make no mistake, Ohtani was absolute guilty of that gambling scam.
100%. I agree 100%. And they swiped it under the table. They swinged it onto the other guy. 100%.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Guys like you and me and our family of Angie's Angles, we're living paycheck to paycheck or worse, and we got to follow the rules. But these superstars are covered and swept under the carpet, like you just eloquently said, Pete.
Well, and worse yet is that he hung his friend out to dry.
Right.
Okay. For 4 years, the guy's his best friend. They hang out together. Their wives hang out. All of a sudden, and then you hung him out to dry. You used him you made him the patsy. He's Lee Harvey Oswald in this case, for Christ's sakes. Okay, your best pal.
I mean, I check my bank account every single day, and I make sure my $4.32 is secure. Right. You can't tell me Ohtani's not doing that, or his accountant's not doing that, and saying, "Hey, Ohtani, we got a $3 million difference here, pal."
Yeah, with this smoke, this fire. There's no way that guy hacked his account, took millions out, shuffled it around, and didn't get caught for what, a year and a half?
Right, absolutely.
No way.
Absolutely. It's
no
disgusting.
way.
Hey, Clark, I am quadruple interstatal. So, Pete, that's a word I made up. Interstatal. It doesn't exist in the English language. But for my family that dials in from out of state, makes me interstatal.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's great. So Pete and I almost daily communicate once in a while, every day. And offline, we were talking about the Met lineup, and we both are in agreement. And Pete, I'm going to ask you to express your opinion after that line. The Met lineup, as it is defunct. That's my call. Great, Ange. How do you call a lineup defunct that's 20, 21, and 11? Well, let me tell you something. We could be 28 and whatever, right? 4. We could be 28 and 4 if we had the proper lineup. Acuna has proven that he's a ball player. And why he didn't play today is beyond me. And the reason is because you got to placate McNeil. And I championed after McNeil won in 2022 the batting championship. Get rid of him. He had max value. He was never, ever going to replicate the 322 or so average that he hit. Never. And he's not come close.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's when he started playing left field, he hurt his wrist. If you remember, McNeil, he has not been the same since. Okay, Acuna should be playing every day at second base. When you trade a guy and give up not only the guy but $35 million to do it, you know he's a good ball player. Okay, you put him in the 2 hole, you put Lindor in 1, you bring Soto back to 3. Alonso 4. Now you got a much stronger lineup, and you got 2 guys that get on base that steal in front of Soto, and that's going to get him an extra 25 RBIs the rest of this year if you do that.
Without a doubt, Acuna needs to be the number 2 hitter.
Yeah.
You got Lindor. All right. So if Lindor gets on base, Acuna's going to see nothing but fastballs.
That's right.
They're not going to throw him junk because now they don't want first and second with a potential double steal in the works because Lindor is fleet of feet also. Okay. And then you got to face Soto, Alonso, Vientos, Alvarez, Nimmo. I mean, the lineup is deep.
And it gets deeper by doing what we're saying. Okay,
right.
You're a little top heavy right now. You go Lindor, Soto, Alonso. There's a definitive drop there. Okay, so push that drop back a little bit. Okay, Alonso's not a traditional 3 hitter. He's hitting to the opposite field really well at the beginning of this year, but you can't expect that to keep up. He's not going to hit 330 for the whole year. Okay, you need the 3 hitter to be the guy that can hit over 300, have a near 400 on base percentage. That's Soto. And then you make Alonso in the power spot at 4. I make a trade. I go out and get a real DH for 5, a real lefty. And then after that, you make your move with the rest of the guys. And you got a longer lineup at that point.
Bring up the guy that you'd like to see us get, Pete.
I like the kid out in Oakland. What is his name?
Soderstrom.
Yeah, Soderstrom.
Right.
Okay, left-handed hitter. He's got 9 homers, 18 RBIs already. He's got good numbers across the board. He can play first base, left field, but I would pencil him in every day at DH and bat him 5th. Now you go, just like you said, Lindor, Acuna, Soto, Alonso, him 5. That's lefty, righty, lefty in the middle. And then you still got Vientos, Nimmo, Alvarez after that. That's a long lineup at that point. And that kid is a nice ball player. He's big, he's strong. And Oakland ain't going nowhere. You have to take advantage. Oakland's playing in a minor league baseball stadium this year, so is Tampa. That means their revenues are reduced even more. So even if they're in contention, they're going to have to trade guys at the deadline because finance is dictated, okay? They're going to have trouble making payroll. That's how bad it's going to be in those 2 cities.
And let's bring that up, right? I wanted to bring this up earlier, and I forgot. So Major League Baseball, multi-billion-dollar operation, right? We've got 2 major league teams playing in minor league parks.
That's right.
Now, nature took care of the Tampa Bay Rays. I get it. I understand. Their stadium got destroyed. But there was no reason why you couldn't have talked to the Marlins and swap spots like the Mets and the Yankees did when the Skanky Stadium was being rebuilt, right?
That's
correct. When they had that concrete problem. The schedule is put the Mets on the road, the Skanky's home, Skanky's on the road, the Mets home, and you share the stadium, a major league stadium. Oakland's going to be in Sacramento for 2, if not 3 years, and they still haven't figured out crap in Las Vegas.
That's right.
That's not a done deal.
So you have 2 different teams playing in ballparks that are under 12,000 attendance. You're a $10 billion operation, and you're allowing that to happen. If this was soccer, both the A's and the Rays would have to go down to the minor leagues. They would become AAA teams. That's how bad it is. Okay, when you operate this poorly, you don't belong in the majors, and neither of those teams do, and neither of those ownerships do. You can't, and it drives me nuts watching Pittsburgh waste especially as it is kids' life because they don't want to spend there either. Either spend or get out of the game. I'm not saying keep up with the Dodgers, but either spend or get out of the game.
Excellent points, Pete, and that's why we have you on Angie's Angles. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and let's get back to the lineup, right? I really think there are 2 things with Soto. One, perhaps the pressure, right? And so Soto absorbed Pete Alonso's pressure of last year, where we got off to the crappy start we did. We didn't kick on all cylinders until deep in May, if not June 1st, right? Lindor went on an insane, absolute manic freaking output of offense. And so Soto's absorbed some of that pressure. But Soto, like we both say, is not a number 2 hitter.
No.
He's the guy in the number. He's your best hitter on that team by far, stat-wise.
Yes, he
So
is.
your best guy is supposed to bat third in any lineup.
Not only that, Soto does not run. Okay, he's not going to steal a base. Okay,
Right.
And so you're wasting him in the 2-hole. Okay. On top of that, he gets on base quite a lot. His on base percentage is high. Again, that's what you want your 3 guy for, so that if again he does draw the walk, Alonso's coming up now with the bases loaded. You have to get the most selective hitter, the best hitter you have in the 3-hole, and that's going to be Soto from here on in.
I mean, we can't argue his eye, right? He gets a lot of walks. He knows the plate discipline, et cetera, et cetera. And speaking about plate discipline, Pete Alonso, as of yesterday, had more walks than strikeouts. And if you said Angie over under on that, I'd bet the house in Vegas that his strikeouts would be greater than his walks. But Pete, there's a couple things, and Kevin Elliott, who's never ending saga on here, we both picked up on this. Have you noticed Pete Alonso, what he does? This guy is hustling.
Yeah.
This guy is breaking that out of the box. He's going first to third with a mission. He is reborn to go to the religion route. There's something that sparked Pete Alonso to take it even to that next level above and beyond his power outage.
I'll tell you what it was that sparked him. They doubted him, okay? They doubted him. They dragged this relationship, this negotiation on.
Through the mud.
They brought up every little detail. You're slow. You don't do this. They hammered him for everything he doesn't do. Now watch him come out this year. This is the first time in 3 years I've seen him keep his hand back and go the other way, okay? He has been going to right center. He has been going to center field. He is squaring his body up. He is not stepping in the bucket and pulling out so fast to try to hit a home run on every pitch. He is showing them that he's a full ball player. That's what they told him this past offseason. You're just a home run hitter. You're not a full player. And he said, oh, yeah, watch me.
That's a great point, Pete. And that's why we got you on here on Angie's Angles. Pete Alonso also, if the season ended today, he's your first base Gold Glove guy.
Yeah.
This guy is flashing leather like he's Keith Hernandez reincarnated, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
He has saved Lindor and Vientos 6 errors apiece, at least, with the picks that he's made.
But doesn't it also help that for the first time in a while, there's some measure of consistency in the infield? So he knows the throwing arms of the 3 people that he's got on a regular basis. He knows where they like the ball, where they're going to get it. There's been a rotating door at third base. There's been a rotating door at second base. If we can finally stabilize the infield, sure, our first baseman suddenly looks a lot smarter, doesn't he? When he knows everybody's throwing on him, when he knows the guys. Chemistry, consistency, camaraderie, it's all important. And they're finally getting some stability now in that infield.
Excellent points, Pete. We love you, buddy.
I love you too, pal.
All right, let me see. I think Harold and Clark are having some online conversations over there, but that's fine. All right, we're gonna jump into the prayer circle as we're at the 8:53 mark. And Pete, we got to bring you back, brother, because we haven't even touched on the. We hit the tip of the iceberg of your knowledge and your observations. All right, this week's prayer circle on Angie's Angles, we're praying. Harold, we're praying for your brother-in-law Frank, who's going to deal with a triple bypass if he's not already. And Dawn Squared, your wife and your coworker. Scott Tobias, you owe me a message, my friend. We're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda, Grandma Stein, good friend from high school. We're praying for your dad and yourself, young lady. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. We're praying for yourself that you remain vertical and that your house. Pete, I don't know if you're aware, but Mark and his family were a victim of arson about a year ago or so.
So sorry, Mark. So sorry, buddy.
And we did a GoFundMe, and Wardy also, Wardy, who does a podcast, he chipped in. He sent that out to his viewers, and we took care of Mark and his family.
Praise God.
So we're praying for you, Mark. Kevin Elliott, my buddy down in Hollywood, Florida. We're praying for your health challenges, my friend. Kraus family. We're praying for Darcy that her foot is good, and Aubrey that your cancer young lady. I believe Aubrey just turned 16, and we're praying that the cancer remains in remission like it is. Clark, as always, we're praying for your brother-in-law Brad and your sister Trish. Deb and Lee down in Maryland. Lee, we're praying for your health. Marianne Bello out in Las Vegas, high school friend of mine. We're praying for your mom. Larry Levy. I played senior baseball with Larry Levy. He was a pitcher, and I was his outfielder, and we made a great tandem. His wife Frida is also her cancer's in remission. Thank God for that. Mr. McGowan, sir, we got your 6, and we're praying for you as you battle your cancer, my friend. Your cancer, your stroke. He's in rehab. I spoke to him recently, and Mr. McGowan, I told him I'm going to sneak some Jameson into the rehab place, and we're going to do a little Angie's Angles from the rehab place. We'll turn the place upside down. Big John from Smoke Therapy Lounge. We're praying for your cousin Richie, Phil's Nona, your brother Angela's friend Dave. Tom, also from the Smoke Lounge. We're praying for Paul and Janet. And good news on Janet. The chemo's almost done. It seems that they got a good handle on the cancer, and positive news on Janet. So thank God for that.
Yes.
Johnny Barbecue, we're praying for your daughter Caitlin as she continues to rehab from her hand surgery. John Vitale, my good friend that I'm going to the Smoke Owners Cigar Convention in Pennsylvania in 2 weeks. We're praying for your father-in-law John Kane and your brother Frank. Joanne, one of the reps that brings us cigars here at Smoke Therapy. We're praying for Angel, who had an eye stroke. Mike C., my good friend that's helping me with the podcast. We're praying for your dad. And Ralph, out there in Smoke Therapy, we're praying for your Aunt Doris. Now, I know, Pete, you got some prayers you want to add to this, my friend.
Yes, I do. My dear mother-in-law, Teddy, is very, very ill right now. Is in hospice, and we're just hoping and praying. My wife also is dealing with several health issues, and my daughter-in-law as well. We just pray for everybody out there on this list. I just love it that you pray on this show, brother. I absolutely love it. I just absolutely love it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? Our world is so convoluted that God is necessary. God is necessary in our lives. He's the one that stirs the drink, if you know what I mean.
No doubt.
So, Pete, this has been an honor. I know we text a lot. Seeing you in person is bringing back a lot of fond memories. I really appreciate you. You look phenomenal. Good job on your health battles. I appreciate you being here. We got to do this again, and we got to come up with you got to throw a couple jokes out next time, Pete. You're an established comedian doing the stand-up for the 37 years, like you said. So I appreciate you. We're going to have you back.
Well, I appreciate you too, buddy. It's been an absolute blast. I love that we've rekindled our friendship over the last couple of years. You've become a real source of inspiration and hope. We support each other. We lift each other up. We keep each other going in this harsh, cruel world that we live in. And I'm still honored that God lets me do stand-up. This May 31st, I'm going to be in Springfield, Illinois, helping the Salvation Army raise money. I only do shows now where it's fundraisers. That's all I do now. Because I want to give back, make a difference. This is the third act for us now, so I'm giving back. So I just absolutely love your show. I've been watching all the time. Like I said, I picked up the show first, then saw my friend, So I was a fan of the show before I was even realized it was my old buddy. So congrats on this, man. You're doing an awesome job, and I've had a blast. I come back anytime, man. Anytime you want me.
I appreciate that, Pete. Thank you kindly. Good luck with your wife with the job hunt. This has been Angie's Angles, come to you live from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Catch us next week. Good night. I love you. So long.